For more on this, we're joined by Bharath Reddy. He's an Associate Fellow at the High-Tech Geopolitics Programme at the Takshashila Institution. Welcome to the programme, Bharath. Now, what is it about Chinese models in particular that's drawing in more businesses? Is it primarily because they're cheaper or because they've become genuinely competitive with US models?
Thank you for having me. And to answer your question, I think it's largely three things. So first is the price to performance ratio, the value that they deliver. So a lot of Chinese models are competitive with the frontier AI models from American labs, and at a fraction of the cost, right? So and these capabilities are, by some estimates, just 8 months behind what the best American models are delivering. So you get something that was frontier 8 months ago and at a fraction of the cost, and so that makes a very competitive value proposition. And the second is that a lot of these models, because the Chinese models are being not hosted on Chinese servers, but maybe in American servers or servers across the world. So it's models that you can host, that you can fine tune, and you get to keep your data in-house. You get more predictable sovereignty in some sense. And that's important at a time when you see that models are being switched on and off, access to them is being switched on and off based on national policy, right? So something that you can host on your own terms, that you have reliable access to, that becomes really important. And lastly, it's also that open models are a way in which you can get better, more wider diffusion. So more people can access it, more people can access it at different price point. And this tends to spread across the economy faster. And that's why you see a lot of startups, especially trying to adopt it, because they might be facing a lot of price constraints. And this is something where, for a lot of routine workloads, at least, you can get access to these models at a fraction of the cost, right? So, so that makes a very interesting proposition.
So does this go to show that the industry has grown far beyond Silicon Valley's dominance?
So in terms of dominance, you see that it's still the most capable models are still coming out of the American labs. It's just that open weight models are currently dominated by the Chinese labs, and for a couple of reasons. So Chinese labs are able to, maybe there have been some genuine innovative breakthroughs from the Chinese labs, but they're able to compete with the American labs, partly due to some distillation that the Chinese labs have done. Distillation is this process where you take a smaller, more compact model and you use it, play the role of a student, and you learn from a more complex, more sophisticated model, right? So using such techniques, they're able to distill, ask a lot of questions to the frontier AI models from American labs and use it to refine these smaller models. So they're able to get these performance gains a lot more cheaply, and even with the restrictions on the chips that have been imposed on Chinese companies, right? So under all of these constraints, they've been able to do this. So there have been some genuine breakthroughs, but it's still a part of the performance is due to distillation. And again, in terms of has the industry grown beyond US domination? I don't know, because a lot of Chinese companies might not have the access to chips to deliver some of these models at a global scale. So that might be one reason why they've chosen to release them as open weight models. So their models are still accessible, but they need to be hosted on your own servers. So in that sense, it's still one way that Chinese companies are getting access to the world and making that available. So it's less of a story of displacement of the American companies and more of something where you see an efficient catch up, at least on one specific segment of this AI models.
Bharath Reddy from the Takshashila Institution, thank you for speaking to us on TRT World.